So now that the bedroom in the Templar suite is finally finished, the final suite in the Chateau, it's amazing to actually be saying that after 4 years, the last final suite. But anyhow, we still have the salon area and the bathroom to go. So whilst Ted's working on the bathroom, I'm going to be working on the salon area. So that all he has to do when he gets onto this area is make the 2 single beds for him here. That's going to also make the sofa. You'll see when it comes to that what I mean. But anyway, he's got a lot of woodwork to do there. But my job today is to get on with this fireplace and spend the next week trying to finish his fireplace and doing something special with it. Whilst Carlston was here, he kindly did the final coat on the window for me and stained the floor. So that's all prepped and finished now. Now it's my time to get on with the fireplace. So the first thing I've got to do is prep the top part, and then, well, I can't tell you what I'm going to do in the bottom part because I'm really still not sure. I don't know. We'll see when we get to it what I decide to do and what colours I decide to use. But in the meantime, quick time on the prep. So the base coat's finished. I've got to wait for it to dry before I can put the bronze and the dark brown highlights on. So in the meantime, I'm going to get something else to show you. So while I'm waiting for the base coat of the top part to dry, I'm going to try and design something on this fireplace. It's a bit too plain for my liking. You know, I like a bit of bling and a bit OTT. So I'm going to try and do something with the front of it just to make it look a bit more interesting. Now, first of all, I thought I'll get some polymer clay and do some mouldings of my own like I did in the downstairs apartment. However, a friend of mine gave me all of these wooden pieces here. They're all decorative pieces just made out of wood. There's lots of different shapes, sizes. I really like this long one here. That's really pretty. But yeah, this one is probably a little bit too ornate, or a bit too big. Yeah, that's too big anyway to go in there. So I think we'll discard them and we'll find something else that we can use them on. But there's just so many bits here. So I'm going to try and draw a design. I'm going to put them up, draw around them, then step back because I don't want to glue them on, then decide I don't like it and then have to get them all off again. So I think I'm going to just put them up, draw around them, make a bit of a design and see just how it turns out and see whether I like it or not. And then if I do, stick them on, and then I'm going to do a bit of a paint job with them. So yeah, let's figure out which ones to use. I think this is got to be here, right in the centre. Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it? I suppose I better get a tape measure really, make sure I get the centre.
there. So what do you reckon about there?
So I've decided on the colour for the fireplace. I wanted to pick out some of the greens that are in the wallpaper. We've got the ambers obviously in the wall, and then you've got lots of greens, different greens, and I've chosen this talenture. It's a real sort of olive, deep olive green. I'm not sure, I have to be honest with you, how it's going to look against the real bronzes and amber colours around it, but I'm going to give it a go, paint it up, and then I want to do some sort of aging effect on it. I'm a little bit worried that maybe I should have chosen a lighter green, but because I've done a little piece here and it is quite dark. But let's give it a go, see what happens, because if not, we can do an aged effect over the top of it with a lighter green. Yeah. Now the only thing with doing these embellishments is it takes so long to paint them. Getting into all the nooks and crannies just takes forever. I gave this 2 coats of white, and yeah, it just took a very long time, and it is now with the green as well. So it's time for me to let that dry properly now. So I think I'm going to leave it till tomorrow and then come back, take a look at it and decide. I've done this sort of, it's kind of mottled, and I'm not sure whether I like it or not. So I'm going to walk away. I think it's always the best thing. When you're not sure, walk away, come back the next day and have a fresh set of eyes on it. So I'll come back tomorrow, and then that's when I can start embellishing the embellishments. I'm really interested to see how this turns out. I've never used it before, so yeah, that'll be cool. But for now, it's time for me to go and start preparing dinner. I'll see you tomorrow.
So, I was asked to do something to disguise what was on the top there, because it wasn't very nice. So we found an old piece of oak and we made a little cap to go on top. And I think that's come out alright. It's been a bit of a pain in the fact that 2 bits broke on me, so I had to quickly do something else. I've got quite a gap here, but it goes in like that, but we're going to have a mirror on here, so maybe that'll take care of that, or I'll put some little bit of something that bends a little bit easier on there just to get up the gap. But it's nice, it just comes below, it doesn't need to do anything else apart from, and it just makes it look, I think, really nice. And I think it finishes off the fireplace.
I think it certainly does. So this week Ted is working away. He's been asked to do a job for somebody. So actually for the next few weeks he's going to be working away. So while he's away, he's left me some jobs to do. Now in the apartment we've got skirting to go around the salon area in the Templar suite. And he's made all of the pieces for the skirting board, and I'm just at the moment started doing the second coat of the stain on them because we want them the same colour as the floor. Now, a lot of people would say, why don't you just go and buy skirting board? Well, the skirting board is so expensive for any really nice skirting board anyway. It is so expensive. And even if we was to buy the expensive skirting board, because the walls and the floors are all so far out, none of them are straight, they'd have to be sort of manipulated to fit anyway. So Ted makes them out scratch from old floorboards. And you'll see that what he does is obviously makes the skirting, does the moulding across the top with his router, but then has to fit them. And it took him a whole day just to cut out and do these pieces of skirting board here. And that's because each one of them has to be bespoke fitted. And you'll see here, he's had to add an extra piece because the wall goes out so far. All of the bottoms of them have been scribed into the floor. So they've all been sort of bespoke made, each individual piece. Takes him forever, bless him. So whilst he's away, I'm just doing all the staining so that when he gets back from his day job tonight, he can then stick them onto the wall and fit them. Now, they need 6 hours to dry, so that's why I've sort of got up early this morning to give the second coat, so that by the time he comes home, they'll all be ready and they can go back on. And I think this will finish the fireplace off perfectly, just surrounding it. Absolutely gorgeous. Right. So the skirting boards are all now finished. They've had 2 coats of the stain, a coat of varnish on top. It's time to now go and put them in place. So the fireplace, it isn't finished yet. We still need to dress it and find a fire grate for it. However, I think that's a trip for next week, down to the local reclamation yard. So you can come along with us there. But I'm really pleased with the way it's come out actually. I think it looks so much better than it did before. And once we get the fire in there, get the mirror up, get curtains up and some nice little decoration on the mantelpiece, I think it will look absolutely superb. Really pleased with it. And it picks out the greens in the wallpaper absolutely brilliantly. Anyway, one last thing for us to do this week is to say a huge thank you to those of you that made a donation. So let's pop over to see Ted in Chateau.
Yep, you've guessed it, she's pimped me out again. So I'm over here at my day job, earning a few quid for the family. And it's a shame I can't say goodbye with my lady wife. But big thank you to Angela Vasquez and Karen Berry for your buy us a coffee donation. Gratefully received. And it's back over to Lisa.
Thank you for that, baby. It's quite strange here, being here without Ted and working. It's quite hard to get motivated on your own. I don't know how people do it, but yeah, look forward to having Ted back next week. And a lovely Charlene comes on Sunday, so you'll see her next week as well. So for now, it's goodbye, and we'll see you again next week. Don't forget, like and subscribe. It doesn't cost a thing. And the comments are really important. And if you can comment on other people's comments and start a thread, that's even more important. Thank you everyone for your support. Take care. See you soon.